listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Hello and welcome to Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari, and today we're going to be talking about not giving up in life. We all have those dreams and goals that we have for ourselves, but life gets in the way. We get off course. People poke at us, they judge us, they have expectations, and sometimes it's easy to throw your hands in the air and say, I give up. But I'm encouraging you not to give up. We want to keep pushing forward because that's what it means to live full out. You want to have that tenacity and that determination to know and believe in yourself that what you are striving for can come true. So we're going to be talking about that. And again, you can call in at 800-333-0001 if you have a question on today's topic or just anywhere in your life that you need motivation. I am here standing by for you. Also, if you are interested in resources on not giving up, or if you have an inspirational story, please reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com. We'd very much like to be here for you and possibly get your story on the air. And if you want to hear today's show again, go to livingfullout.com. Click on the radio show tab, and all of our shows will be waiting there for you. In fact, if you have an Alexa, you can also hear our show on that device or on your phones. If you have an iPhone or an Android, we are in the App Store, so you can go ahead and listen to the show via your cell phone. Any which way that we can motivate and inspire you, we would like to do. Also, in our next segment, we're going to be joined by our inspirational guest, Olivia Hutcherson, who survived, whatever you want to call it, breast cancer, which is honestly a condition that so many women face. And if you've had a sister or a mother or somebody who has breast cancer, I know I have, my mom had it, it's always on your mind, the what if. And Olivia's story is a great demonstration of going through the fire, but coming out the other end, even a better version of herself than she was before she had breast cancer. It's truly touching. So stay with us in the next segment for her story. Now I'm getting word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Yes, hello. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Absolutely. How can we help you today?
Yes, so I'm a single parent of 3 kids, and 2 of them are in college. The other one is about going into college, and I spent most of my last 21 years just focusing my life on them. And now I don't know what to do next.
You know what? You're turning a new page. You have been a great mother. Many, many, many chapters of your life of being a mother, helping your kids grow up, and all of those chapters defined who you were in those decades or years of your life. But today, now, you're turning a new page. So what is something that you're passionate about?
See, that's another struggle, you know. Mm-hmm. I just can't feel passionate about anything, you know. Mm-hmm. They have just been my passion and my life, and I can't seem to just think beyond, you know, what do I do next that, you know, now my son is going into college, and I'm trying to like be proactive and think of, you know, next year he's in college. What do I want to do next? But I can't seem to think of one thing that I really feel passionate about, one thing that I really want to do.
Well, you know what, though? You don't have to start over, because what you want to do is take a look back down memory lane. Look at all the different moments that you had with your children. What did you enjoy about that? Some people would say, I enjoyed being in the PTA or being involved with school activities. Some people would say, oh, I really enjoyed shopping and helping my children, you know, get prepared for life or interviews or whatever. Some people might have said, I really loved putting those birthday parties together and having their friends over. Maybe it was academics. Maybe you were a good tutor for them and scholastically helped them to get to where they are today. So sometimes it's just about looking back at the past of what you enjoyed in being a mother, and then consider how you can apply that towards your future endeavors. Because there's a lot of people that look at the past, see what they loved, and then apply it. So some people go on to do volunteer work based upon something they enjoy doing or people they enjoy serving. Some people might end up volunteering at a church or helping the homeless or volunteering for helping pregnant mothers. Or maybe you decide, you know what, I need a paying job. That's fine too. Start looking at organizations that are in alignment with your passions. Mm-hmm. It's going to take a little bit of self-exploring, but I really believe that where you are going to go in the future, if you look at what you enjoyed from your past in being a mother, I think that's going to give you a lot of great ideas. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And just, I really don't want to keep you, take all your time, but, I started thinking a little bit more about it. I do have a law degree, but I've never practiced. But now it's like so scary going into that world.
Oh, but here's the thing. You have a law degree. Think of all the people that you could serve and help if you put that in action, if you fire that up again. Again, you're starting a new chapter. And it's not about having all the answers. I mean, yes, in terms of law, they want to come to you for answers. But the life experience that you've had as a mother, the ups and downs, the ins and outs, that's what's going to make you a great attorney, paralegal, or whatever you choose to do with your law degree. Again, I think it's really just about taking a pulse and looking at, where you want to go in the future. And beyond today's call, because we only have so much time together, you're absolutely welcome to reach back out to me on a future show or call us at Living Full Out, 310-909-7800. And I am always here to help you, even outside the show. Okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I believe in you very much. Go out there and make a difference because you're going to do that anyway. That's just who you are. It's just who you are. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Now, we've all been there, right? What do we do? Where do we go? What's my passion? We've all been there. I've been there. So we're getting word from our producer. We have another call on the line. Hello. Welcome to Living Full Out Show.
Thank you.
Hi. Thank you for joining us. How can I help you?
You're welcome. My question, I have a fear of public speaking and what people think of me. So how do I conquer that fear of worrying about somebody criticizing me? That scrutiny. That's my question.
Well, first of all, there's always going to be those bad apples. Okay. And I'm not even sure they're bad apples. Maybe they just haven't had their caffeine. Maybe they popped a tire on their way to the office and got in a bad mood. Who knows? There's always going to be the critics. So let's put them aside. Okay.
Okay.
Rather than focusing on the what ifs or focusing on the negative people that's really their problem, that they're negative. Let's put them aside. Let's focus on you, because when you public speak, it doesn't matter if you're on the phone with a friend or at a party amongst a group, even people you know, or if you're doing a presentation. You always have to believe that what you have to say has meaning. And the scary thing is, what if you don't say something? What if you don't tell that joke? Then people don't get that. They don't get the laugh. They don't get that chuckle. They've missed that opportunity. What if you don't tell that inspirational story? And who knows how it may have impacted or motivated another person. Your voice has power, has wisdom. So when you hold back and you allow that fear to not have you speak, all the people, it's like a domino effect, right? Think of all the people that missed out on you. And remember, fear stands for false evidence appearing real. It's not real. Those critics, they're not real. They may exist. They may come out of the woodwork, but that's just kind of a what if. But what we do know is that you're a passionate, intelligent, giving person. And so I say you go out there and you just speak and just speak from the heart. If you do that, you will never go wrong. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. It really does.
So I want you to go out there today, and I want you to tell somebody a story. Share from the heart something And I promise if you do that, little by little, you'll get over that fear. But thank you so much for calling in, okay?
All right, and thank you. You're welcome. Very welcome.
Oh, thank you. Have a great day. Thank you.
You too.
And when we come back, we're going to be joined by our inspirational guest, Olivia Hutcherson. Again, she's overcome breast cancer, but it didn't take just a snap to do it. She had to get through that fire. She had to come out the other end, believing in herself. And when she did, she was living her life full out. We'll be right back.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I'd like kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure.
Tomorrow?
Let's check with Mom. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm gonna return the kayak. Just make sure you have everything.
Yep. Can we walk home?
How about a taxi? 233 North Maple, please.
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood.
Best day ever.
A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Don't you wish that getting your child to eat right, move more, and spend less time in front of a screen could be as easy as pushing a button? It might not be that simple, but you do have more power than you know. And you can maximize that power with proven strategies, tips, and tools from the National Institutes of Health's We Can, or Ways to Enhance Children's Activity and Nutrition program. We Can offers all kinds of resources, including fun recipes and activities the family can do together to show you the way to live a healthier lifestyle. We're not saying it's easy. We are saying that it can be done. Take the first step today. Call 1-866-359-3226 for a free We Can Parents Handbook. And be sure to visit the We Can website at wecan.nhlbi.nih.gov for free information too. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
It's not work. I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit ignition.
And then
nothing. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite. Look out! And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I liked things to always be the same. Anything new or different would scare and upset me. I was very sensitive to lights and sounds. It was almost like I had bigger eyes and ears than everyone else. So I built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. I didn't like looking people in the eye. It made me feel uncomfortable. I'd throw big tantrums over little things like when my socks didn't match. Sometimes I'd do the same things over and over. Until one day, I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
You can see signs of autism in children as young as 18 months. Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. With Nancy's expertise, you'll learn how to embrace your potential and strive for success. If you have a question or need further support, send us an email at connect@livingfullout.com. Now, here's Nancy.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today. I am Nancy Solari, and today we're talking about not giving up in life. You know, when those curveballs come at you, when the unexpected is flowing your way, don't give up. Always remember that what you're striving for in life has meaning and purpose. And even though we may have successes early on in life, sometimes as life washes over us and those unexpected moments come, it actually evolves us into being even a better version of ourselves than we were prior. And I want to say that our inspirational guest today, Olivia Hutcherson, is a perfect example of that. She took her time, her experience surviving cancer, breast cancer at that, and made a life full of meaning, purpose, and leaving a legacy. So I'd very much like to welcome Olivia to the show.
Thank you so much.
Hello. You got it. Hey, so Olivia, you know, breast cancer is something that sadly has been out there for a long time. I know my mom had breast cancer. It's always on my mind, especially being in my 40s, that what if could happen. Mm-hmm. And for you, back in 2015, I mean, you were in your, mid to late 20s. And I can only imagine how terrifying this experience has been through. But can you share with us the day that you started to notice that something wasn't right?
Yeah, so I realized on my 26th birthday, I was in the middle of filming as a backup dancer for Madonna, and I was in all white, and I remember looking down that night vividly, and there was blood on the inside of my blouse coming from my nipple, and that was kind of the first alarming sign I had, but at the time I did not think it was anything near related to cancer. I thought maybe I had scratched myself, and I wound up going into the doctor a couple days later, and that was kind of the beginning of realizing there was an issue and something going on.
Had you felt a sense of fatigue, or, a lot of times people wonder with cancer, is there anything I could have found or saw as a sign?
Yes, I did feel fatigue. I honestly just thought it was related to being a New Yorker and being a dancer and always feeling fatigued.
Right.
But I was experiencing something that was a little bit out of the ordinary other than just the bleeding from the nipple, and that was waking up with horrible night sweats. This had been going on for about a week prior to my diagnosis. But again, I still wasn't really putting the two and two together. And when I went to the doctor, they actually originally told me that they thought I was just overdoing it because I was exerting myself physically very hard every day, and it was summertime. And, they just thought I was overworking myself. But these night sweats went on for about a week, and then the fatigue was chronic, and I went back in and requested that they do a mammogram. And initially they didn't want to do that because I was 26 years old. I was not a smoker. I had no family history. And, I basically just told them, look, I'm not leaving here until you do a mammogram, because at that point I was starting to get concerned. And so they went ahead and did the mammogram, and enough, they found breast cancer on the left side of my breast, and pretty aggressive at that. So,
and I can only
trust your instincts.
Yeah, and trust your instincts. And in the theme of today, never giving up. You were like, I am not leaving. There is something wrong. And I think that's really important, Olivia, because you have to be your best advocate. I mean, the medical teams are great and all, but they can't feel what you feel. And your intuition was spot on that something was wrong. And when they told you the news that you had breast cancer, what is that moment like? Are you in denial? Did you think I knew it?
It's devastating. Even just saying the words right now, it's amazing that this year will be 3 years since my diagnosis, and I can just close my eyes and just be right back in that room and right back in that moment. And, you feel, I just remember, I kind of knew before I knew, because the radiologist had come out many hours later, and the first thing she asked me was, do you have someone here with you? And that's kind of like, no one wants to hear those words. And so, I called my mom, and my mom came and she brought me into her office, and she pulled up this image on a screen that looked like a firework. I didn't even know what I was looking at, but I knew it wasn't good. And, I remember just having this sinking feeling in my chest. Like I couldn't believe it. It was like, there was a part of me that was like, no, you made a mistake. Like, you have the wrong person. So there was an element of like denial. And, I think that feeling of being young and in an entertainment industry and being healthy, it's like you feel like this can't be happening.
This can't be happening. I can appreciate that. And what was the plan of action? I mean, what was the recommendation?
Yeah, so everything moved really, really rapidly. From the day of diagnosis, I was back in the doctor's office the following morning with a team of 5 people. I had my primary care, an oncologist, a plastic surgeon. They had a therapist there. They had someone to meet with me about money. It literally everything was just flying at me.
Wow, you have good insurance. That's amazing, though. I mean, that's actually really amazing that team came together so quickly. Because I know for so many, it's like it dangles out there all these different doctor appointments they have to go to. So, what did they recommend then?
So they told me that they recommended a double mastectomy. I had been diagnosed with DCIS, which stands for ductal carcinoma in situ, and it's a little bit different than how people typically imagine breast cancer. They talk about finding a lump. It was nothing like that. It was spread just kind of all over the left side, so you wouldn't have felt a lump. However, because the left side was so covered with this form of cancer, they were worried about it spreading to the right side. And so their recommendation was to do a double mastectomy, which at that time I didn't even know what that meant. I quickly Googled and was horrified to realize that I was, facing losing both of my breasts. However, I do remember it was a split-second decision for me. There was no question mark in my mind. I was like, just take both of them, get it out of me, get it off of me.
Right.
I was just at a point where my life was way more important than my breath. So,
well, and at this point here is where I want to stop for half a second so we take a commercial break. But here again, you had to trust your instincts and make that split-second decision. So we're going to be coming right back, Olivia, so stay with us. And everybody today, we're talking about not giving up. You're going to get that bad news. But you got to make that decision and confidently decide, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to give up. My life is worth it. So we'll be right back after this break. Stay with us.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari.
There are many sounds in your day-to-day life. There are sounds that wake you up. Sounds that make you smile. Sounds that energize you. And sounds that help you relax. But there are some sounds that can alert you to danger and can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you information about severe weather events, Amber Alerts, or other emergencies in your area. With critical information from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know, wherever you are. For more information, visit ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey, but people in this town call me Maniac. They call me that because I'm the fastest runner in town. But just because everyone knows who I am doesn't mean I belong. I don't really belong anywhere. You see, I'm an orphan and I wander the streets just looking for a place that I can truly call home. My name is Maniac McGee and I'm all alone. Explore new worlds. Read my story in the novel Maniac McGee by Jerry Spinelli. For other great book ideas, visit your local library or log on to literacy.gov. Brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Look for the bare necessities.
The bare necessities of healthy living are easier than you think.
You better believe it.
And the food pyramid shows you the way. With just the right amount of exercise and the necessary grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, and meats and beans.
Just the bare necessities of life.
So eat right, be active, and have fun.
Yeah, man.
For your own path to a healthier you, visit mypyramid.gov.
This is really living.
This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Ad Council.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
What if I could tell you that a full-blown wildfire was going to occur tomorrow right where you live? Tell you exactly which neighborhoods it would engulf and how fast it would do it. The first thing you would do is talk with your loved ones and make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a wildfire will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you make a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Welcome back to the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari, and today we're talking about not giving up in life. You know, pressing forward even through the hardest of times, knowing that your passions, your dreams, your life is worth it, and that you're not going to settle for less, and that you'll do what you have to do to live your life full out. And our inspirational guest today, Olivia Hutcherson, really went through that same journey as she fought breast cancer, but yet survived. That's how she's with us today to tell her story, really from an educational place. We can learn from her that if a loved one of ours, your mother, your sister, a friend should have breast cancer, really listening closely to her story, because it really took her instincts and her confidence in herself and her future to give her the ability to take action. So we all have that opportunity to be that way of support for another. So I'd like to welcome Olivia to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. And Olivia, I want to pick up kind of where we were in our last segment. So, you know, you made the decision to let them, you know, basically take both breasts away to eliminate this cancer out of your body. And After they did that surgery, what was the rehab like for you?
Well, it was nothing that I could have planned for or expected. I remember it was a 12-hour surgery for me, which is a little bit longer than most double mastectomies based on all the women I've spoken to over the years. But what happened was, while they were in surgery, they actually found a tumor on the right side that they had not caught on the mammogram. So that kind of changed things up a bit, and they had to cut pretty deep. So I want to say I had about 5 days in the hospital, and then it was about a month before I could use my arms and my hands in a normal way. I kind of put myself through my own physical therapy. I didn't actually go to someone else for that. I think being a dancer and being an athlete most of my life, I felt like I knew my body better than anyone. And, just little things, like I would do little finger exercises and arm exercises. And I was weak after, I would say, for the first month of surgery. So I can remember, one day I would walk to the stop sign, and then the next day I would walk around half a block, and then I'd walk the full block. And I think just giving myself these little incremental goals,
little milestones, right?
Kind of.
And and how did you celebrate those wins? Because I can picture you. I can picture you walking a little bit and then a little bit more. Did you celebrate those moments?
I did. I had such an incredible support system around me, which definitely made a difference. And I'm a very spiritual person, but I think this brought me even closer to God. I would put my headphones on and have my music, and I would little things. Honestly, if I knew I was going outside, I was like, okay, what if I run into someone? So I'm going to walk in a dress, or I'm going to put a flower in my hair, or
I love that.
So ridiculous now. Or I would just put my lipstick on, and I'm these small little things that would just make me feel like I'm still going to get out of my bed and out of my house, and I'm going to keep moving forward however I can. Mm-hmm. And I might be crying under my sunglasses, but there's a smile with the lipstick, and, every day you just push a little more.
I love that. I love that. And I'm also curious, did you have to go through chemo or radiation?
So originally they told me that I wasn't going to have to do chemo. But like I said before, they found a tumor while I was in surgery, and that switched things up quite a bit. So I did wind up going through chemotherapy for 3 months. I lost all my hair, and just a quick little thing. I remember Googling, 20-year-old chemo hair. I think that was what I put in the Google search engine, and not too much came up, and it was really upsetting to me. So I reached out to some people I met through an organization called 540. They're based here in New York, and they offer a lot of services for women under 40 who has gotten breast cancer. And I called them up, and I'm like, I want to do something big. They're like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I want to shave my head in Times Square on the NASDAQ billboard. Can we make that happen? There's no 20-year-olds on Google who look like me. They're like, let us get back to you.
Oh, that is pretty bold, girl. So did they allow you to do it? Did you do it?
They sure did. And right after, I'm like, what did I just do?
Wow.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing about cancer is that when you're going through it, you feel like you're the only one. And the more time that goes on, the more you realize how many people actually share your story. But when you're in it, you feel like nobody understands.
Well, I'm one of hundreds of thousands that are so proud of you for that moment. But think about how many people you touched and how educational that was for people. And so you go, girl. I think that's amazing. And after you did that and, you took your hair away, obviously you made the choice to do that. So you kind of took your power back there from cancer, which was great. Did you decide, I'm going to go around with no hair, or did you decide to get a wig, or what did you decide to do? Because appearance was important to you. So how did you transition?
That's a really good question. You know, after I did that very bold move, I had people who were kind enough to donate wigs to me, and you know, I had friends who were like, let's go to the costume shop. I mean, I had every wig in every color. It almost became like a game for me. And I had all these different personas. I'm like, well, I guess I'm switching my career from a dancer to an actress.
There you go. There you go. Now,
But, you know,
yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say it was very up and down, though. You know, I'd have my days where I was like joking about it and putting on all these wigs and, you know, becoming these different personas. And then at the end of the night or the beginning of the morning, when I was pasty, you know, and facing myself, not really facing the world, but facing myself, you know, it would sink in and it would hurt. It would hurt myself in that, in that way physically. But
the moments we have by ourselves are sometimes the hardest, right? The nighttime is the hardest sometimes because we can get busy during the day, but we're alone by ourselves at night. And how did you combat or handle the what if? Like, what if it comes back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's something that you always deal with when you've had any type of serious illness. And I kind of just live by the fact that I replace all my fear with faith. And, you know, just for me personally, like digging very deep into my, I always say, like, I'm not a super religious person, but I have a very deep relationship with God. And, you know, just really, really putting my faith in that, because I could sit here and worry about it every second of every day if I allowed myself. But the worrying doesn't change anything. That's what I realized. You know, the worrying just makes you lose your peace of mind for tomorrow. And, you know, it's just, when I can honestly answer, I've done everything in my power. You know, I'm eating the right things. I'm sleeping enough. I'm not out drinking and partying every night. You know, I'm not smoking. I'm doing everything in my control that I can to be healthy. And then, I lift it up. And what's not in my control is not in my control. And I just try to keep that inner peace, because sometimes I feel like the worrying is what makes it worse.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it kind of festers inside you, and then it's like a soda can. You get all shook up and then you pop, all right, and you explode. You know, dancing was always a passionate love of yours. I mean, that's what you grew up doing, and that was your career. And as you were healing and in recovery and doing your own rehabilitation, obviously you weren't dancing, but then you got the opportunity to dance again. And, you know, we don't have too long to go into how that all happened, but you reclaimed your life. You brought dancing back into your life. And how important that was. Why was that something you felt you had to do?
I didn't feel like I had to start again. I feel like I never stopped. It just was put on pause. And I knew that I would dance again. And, you know, I wasn't sure when that would be. And I didn't know it was as soon as I did. I danced 1 week after completing chemotherapy, you know, for ABC news anchor Amy Robach at the time. She was a recent breast cancer survivor. And I felt like it was a clear sign when I got asked to perform at that benefit that was the perfect time. And I needed something. I needed something to push me and get me out of my, you know, my 4 blocks that I had been walking for all these months. So, yeah.
You know, it's got to be interesting because a lot of you is still the same Olivia, and now you're a newer version of you.
Yes, very true.
And I just want you to know that we are so proud of you at Living Full Out. Like I said, breast cancer runs in my family. My mom had it, and to see you be such a warrior, yet such a role model, shaving your hair off in Times Square, that is outrageous, but at the same time, that is signature Olivia. And so thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. I think it was very important for us to be reminded that when that bad news comes, you don't have to step back. You don't have to settle.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me, and, the feeling is mutual. And I think, just if I could say one last thing, it would just be to hang on to your faith and hang on to a positive mindset. Your mindset is everything. I read something yesterday. It's like your attitude determines your altitude. And I love that because it's like whatever you're feeding your mind and your spirit and whatever you're telling yourself, that's what it will be.
You know what? Perfect note to end on. And that, again, is Signature Olivia, positive to the end. I love it. Well, thank you again for your time today. We'll be seeing you dancing on stage. Sounds good. Thank you.
Absolutely. Take care. Have a good one.
You too. And when we come back, we're going to be taking your calls. Again, it's about not giving up in life. So she was a great example of that, but so are you. So feel free to bring your calls to us. We're here to help and keep you motivated as you journey through life here. This is the Living Full Out Show. I am Nancy Solari. It's about not giving up. We'll be right back.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
The following message is about Medicaid and CHIP, free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. Enrollment is open year-round.
Hey, voice lady, give me the mic.
Okay.
Hey, DJ, let's switch up the music. That's better. So listen up, moms and dads out there. There are these programs called Medicaid and CHIP. They offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids. Things like doctor and dentist visits, prescriptions, and shots are covered. All the stuff that keeps kids like me healthy and in charge.
So, as you can tell, a covered kid is a confident kid. And it means confident parents, too. To learn more about affordable health coverage for your family, visit healthcare.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. That's 1-877-543-7669.
Yep, you could do something big for your family today because enrollment is open year-round.
This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And Sophia.
They're gonna jump out of trees. You can't stop them. They'll go down the slide head first. They'll make parachutes out of sheets. They'll balance on things that are impossible to balance on, like the back of a couch or a windowsill or a scooter seat. They'll run with sharp objects. They'll run into walls. They'll climb things that won't hold their weight. They'll put their fingers in places where they could get smashed. They'll drive their tricycles down steep hills. They'll bounce balls off their faces. They'll step on each other. They'll jump on each other. They'll invent whole new ways to put themselves in jeopardy. But one of the most dangerous things kids will do happens while they're sitting perfectly still. Kids who ride in a car without a booster seat are much more likely to suffer serious or fatal injury during a crash than kids in boosters. But amazingly, 80% of all kids who need them aren't in them. After a toddler seat and until they're 4'9", booster kids, and don't let them down.
Go to boosterseat.gov to learn more about the importance of boosters. A message from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Have you ever lost a cat? And have you ever wanted to get your cat back after you lost it? I'm Andrew Hoffman. I invented the Lost Cat Magnet. Just turn it on and lost cats stick to it. Just listen to one satisfied cat. That's proof. You should invent stuff too. But remember, don't do a Lost Cat Magnet.
Anything's possible. Keep thinking. Get started on your own inventions or just play some games at inventnow.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, the National Inventors Hall of Fame Foundation, and the Ad Council.
We're your pets, and this song's dedicated to those people who don't have health insurance yet. Enroll, we say, we want you to be okay. Enroll, we say,
Health insurance is now affordable and covers prescriptions, hospitalizations, and preventive care. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn more.
And take care, people.
Brought to you by Get Covered America and the Ad Council.
I know that sometimes when life doesn't go our way, when we have those unexpecteds pop up, it's hard to not want to give up and kind of lift your hands in the air and say, it's never going to happen. But you always remember that it can. It will. The words that you use to describe where you are in your life, I will, I can, are so important. And reaching out to people so they can be support for you and trusting yourself and others. That's how you live full out.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. Nancy is here as a guide to show you how to rise above obstacles and savor each moment. If you have a question, call in live at 800-333-0001. That's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Well, here we are. I can't believe it. The show always goes so fast, but I love our time together, and especially today's topic, not giving up. It is such an important one. I know that, for myself, there's been countless times that I could have given up. I could have just said, you know what, the radio career is not going to happen. Yet here I am. I'm going to go blind. What's going to come of me? Well, I'm blind, but I have a great life. It's not perfect, but it's great. And so a lot of times we can look at these negatives and either choose to give them power, that they are going to direct our life, or you can say, you know what? Life happens, and choose to go another direction, but you're the one driving the ship, the car, whatever you want to call it. You're the one taking your power back. That's so important when we talk about not giving up. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hello, welcome to Living Full Out Show.
Hi, I have a question to ask you.
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, this past over the summer, I've been meeting a lot of people, trying to better myself, make myself more successful, surrounding myself with people that can better me. And quite recently, I've been talking to so many people, and have been enriching me. And I couldn't be more thankful. However, when I'm spreading my insight with my close friends from back home and trying to communicate with them, it seems like there's a disconnect between me and them. So I'm just worried that, as I'm traveling down this path to better myself, I'm kind of disconnecting with old friends and close friends that I've been friends with for a long time, and I'm just wondering, is this normal? Is this something that I have to deal with as I'm going through life? Is this normal for people?
You know what? I love that you asked this question because, well, there is no normal. But I will tell you this, two thoughts that I have on what you just said, because I've experienced it, and many people are probably nodding right now having experienced it. But a couple thoughts. Number one, consider your life is like a book, right? There's different chapters. So just because you might have a childhood friend, which a lot of memories occurred and they were great ones, it doesn't mean that when you fast forward later in your life, let's say far down the road, let's say when you're in your 70s, doesn't mean that that will be the same friend who's your best friend or even the ones that you hang out with the most. The thing is as we grow older, as we evolve, our friendships do change. Doesn't mean that our prior friends are any better or worse than our current friends. It just means that you're growing, you're evolving. So I wouldn't put pressure on that friendship to be anything more than just where it was in the capacity of your life. Plus, as you go along in your life, there's going to be times that you're going to want to reflect on a silly moment from, gosh, it could be junior high, it could be high school, it could be college, who knows? And the people down the line in your life may not be able to relate to the earlier you. And you're going to want to be able to call those people and kind of reminisce about the good old days, right? So you're going to have friendships for different purposes throughout your life. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing is, what I want to tell you, when you go home and you have all these great insights that you want to share, I can picture you doing that. I can picture you with them and you're so excited and this is what I've learned and this is who I've met. Test the waters, see how they respond. And if they're not really getting it, it may not be because they don't care or they're not interested. It's just you guys are in different places. So then you just want to switch gears and go back to being in the moment of the relationship and the time that you two have had together, that you and that group have had together. Do you see what I'm saying? Just live in the moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Every relationship you have has all contributed to who you are today. So don't get rid of any of them unless they're toxic. If they're toxic and they're a bad influence or they're saying bad things to you, cut them loose. But just because they don't get where you are now, that's okay. Just love that friendship for who they are. Can you do that?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Have fun with those friends. All right. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So I love that everybody who has called in today has had different versions of challenges and struggles, because we all do. I'm going to leave the show today and I guarantee you something is not going to go my way. There's going to be something where I'm going to say, or I could say, what's the point? But I'm going to choose to say, you know what? Nope, I'm worth it. And I want you to remember that you want to have that same verbiage. What you say to yourself, the positive mindset that you have, that's what's going to get you through the tough times. That's what's going to have you say to yourself, I am not giving up. So don't do it. Hang in there. The tough times will pass. Thank you so much for listening again today, and check us out on Alexa or the iPhone or Android apps. They're there to motivate you every day. The entire Living Full Out family, Rich, Aaron, Riley, Amanda, we're all here dedicated each week to making sure that you are living your life full out. I'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Living Full Out Show with Nancy Solari. To learn more about this program, visit livingfullout.com for the latest episodes. Connect with the Living Full Out community by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you have an inspirational story you want to share, email us at connect@livingfullout.com. Here's to you, living full out.